What really makes the difference when it comes to sales at live events? My name's Steve Warner. We've done more than 150 events over the last 10 years, more than $30 million generated from stage. So I'm here today to talk about some stuff that's behind the scenes. A lot of people don't think about this. They just think, I'm going to hold an event. I'm going to be like Tony Robbins.
Go crazy. One, two.
I'm going to have 1,000 people out there. I'm going to teach everything and I'm going to sell. Here's the thing, guys. When I started, I thought that as well. I rented a space at South Point Casino in Las Vegas, and I spent probably 40, 50, 60 hours building this presentations out. And I got up there, and day one, I start going through the presentation, and I'm feeling good, and I turn around, and I look in the front row. There's a guy falling asleep. There's another guy on his phone. I look at the back of the room, and there are people leaving the room. And I had spent so long building this event. I saw them leave and I just felt like heartbroken. So after that event, I went back to the drawing board. I ended up talking to my mentor at the time. It was Dan Kennedy. I was also working with some other people in the event space through his program. And I started talking to him and he was like, "You're doing it all wrong." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, it's not about teaching. It's about getting people to believe that it's possible for them. So there are really 3 ways that you do this. And across 150 events, we have perfected this. So I'm going to go through what they are. The first one is getting people into state. So Tony Robbins does this really well. So I'm going to use his as an example. So what happens every 8 to 10 minutes at a Tony Robbins event? You get up, you're jumping around, you're massaging the person next to you. So that's one state, right? He's getting you excited and he's anchoring that to being in the event. But there are other states. If you actually look at how he teaches something. It's 8 to 10 minutes. He gets you up jumping around. Then he gets you in your seat and he makes you believe that it's possible for you by giving you examples. Then he gets you into state. You're jumping around. Then the next block, he goes and does a breakthrough with somebody in the audience applying the principle. This helps the audience see that it's possible for somebody like them. Then he gets you up jumping around. Then the next block that he does is he applies that whole thing, that whole learning to you. So he takes you through exactly what we're talking about right here, right? The first step is, I believe that it might be possible, but I don't know. Step number 2 is, it's possible for somebody like me. Step number 3 is, it's possible for me. He does that while anchoring a positive state over and over and over throughout the event. So we do this in our events. We don't always have people jump up, massaging people, jumping around. That's a good thing to do, but it doesn't fit all events. There are other ways to do this, but that's the key that you want right there, is getting people into state. Number 2 is, you don't want to just teach. This is something that, like, if I could change one thing about events, it would be teaching. You want to give some tips. You want to give some things that will change the game for people, but it needs to be like level 1 or level 2. You don't need to teach everything that you know. Now, if you want proof of this, think for just a second. I want you guys to go back to high school. I want you to think about your least favorite teacher. For me, it's calculus. The guy would stand at the board scribbling away. He might like look over his shoulder, blah, 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 bark some stuff at us, and it would shut me down, right? I would end up putting my head down, I'd read a book, I'd pass notes, or I'd just leave out the back door. Now I want you to go down the hall to your favorite teacher's classroom. You probably walk in, they're joking around, they talk to you, they know their name, it's a little bit more casual. They're engaging with you, right? They might even give you study hall. They don't teach as much, but they engage with you. They know what's going on, and they teach things in kind of a fun, more casual way. So now you might be saying, well, the other guy knows more. Maybe, but my question for you right now is, which one do you remember stuff from? You always remember things that engage with you and that get you excited, right? The best way that we have found to do this is through telling stories. So there are very specific ways to tell stories that help your audience get engaged with you. This is the thing that changes everything when it comes to this, right? So it's not just about teaching, it's about telling stories that address pain points, break beliefs and show people that it's possible for them. The third thing is the speakers that you bring in. You should not be the only one on stage. You want to attack the problem that the audience has from different angles, and you want to bring in speakers that do just that, right? You want to bring in speakers that engage the audience, that are fun to listen to, and that attack from different angles. You want them to look at the specific pain points that they can talk to your audience about. You want them to address one or two specific objections that they can overcome that you can't, and you want them to see the outcome that they got pointing to something that you use as the person selling from stage. This pre-frames what you are selling. It's one of the keys to this whole thing. The other piece of this that a lot of people don't want to talk about, but I'm just going to be real honest and pull back the curtain. When you're on stage and you're the only person on stage, it's easy for the audience to disagree with you. It kind of creates a little bit of a wall. They're like, I like this person, but I don't know that it works for me. I don't know that that's really my vibe, whatever, right? It creates, there's some dissonance there. By having other speakers, they're third parties that are still pointing to the main thing that you do, and it allows your audience to accept what you are selling to them, the big change, completely differently because it's not just you selling. So my name is Steve Warner. Again, more than 150 live events, 30 million generated from stage. If you have questions, if you want some of my free items, you can click down below. I have the Fill Your Event Fast blueprint. I also have the Story Selling Webinar blueprint, all down below. Till next time, guys, take action, change lives, and make money. I'll see you soon.